Welcome to Growing Wings, where we bring you inspiration to unlock your superpowers. I am your host, Keira Lani. I help healers to master their energy and unleash their gifts. I bring people back to their true nature through Tree Gong healing, and I am so excited to bring a fabulous guest to you this week on Growing Wings. So without further ado, I will introduce to you Jillian Schleger. She's on her way. There she is. Jillian is an author, a healer, and a coach. She helps healers and coaches to create their dream income without resistance. Now that sounds like a magical superpower. So Jillian, will you say hello to our audience and a bit more about yourself?
Hi everybody. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm really excited to be here and to speak with everybody. And yeah, it is kind of a superpower. I talk to people and teach my clients about muscle testing and what a superpower it is to be able to tap into not only our conscious mind and our energy, but also our subconscious, where those underlying beliefs lie that are maybe sticky and keeping some resistance about income and money and wealth and abundance away from us. We might say we want certain things, and we might say we want a specific dream income, but some of those subconscious beliefs kind of get in the way. So we can muscle test and see where those are hiding to bring them up, and then to be able to use different healing modalities to actually dissolve them.
Wow. So who out there has a dream income that you would like to activate? I would recommend grabbing a notebook, take some notes, get some good information here, ask questions if you're joining us live. And even if you're joining the replay, you can ask questions and we'll come back in and check in with those comments later. So I'm going to say hello to who is here. Hello, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining. Priceless Jewel is here. Send in a bunch of hearts your way. She's got some for me too. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are not seeing your comment come up because you have come across this video on a different group or page, click on the video and it will bring you over to the original broadcast, which is on my page, Tree Gong Healing. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of these amazing interviews, then please like Tree Gong Healing, and then you will get notifications from my page. I am doing these on my business page rather than my personal profile, because then they will show up if you click on videos as a playlist. And so that makes it a little easier to catch up with the old videos. And we have Rhonda Elliott saying hello. Jillian and Rhonda live near each other. Cool. Awesome.
Hey guys, good to see you guys.
Yay. So we kind of touched on it, Jillian, but what is your personal superpower?
Well, if I may kind of start from not the very beginning, but the beginning of the awakening that I had. So I was actually watching a video from a coach, and she was talking about her income. And she had said that she kind of was stepping up from going from $2,000 a month to $8,000 a month to $15,000 a month. And I'm like, okay, I can get on board with that. And then she said, I can't now imagine an income where I was making less than $100,000 a month. And I just went, that was exactly my expression. I went, what? My brain started going, dee, 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 dee. How many jobs would I have to work? How much sleep would I be able to get? My brain started over processing. So I said, I started to ask questions like, what more is possible? What is here that I'm not seeing? What am I not acknowledging within myself that could bring about this kind of change? And then as we do, we ask questions and then we wait and we allow space. And I started getting shown these videos in my YouTube timeline, and I started clicking on the videos, and it showed me a video of somebody taking an Eckhart Tolle exercise and kind of expanding that. And I expanded it further, where I visualized myself sitting in the basement of a factory, and the factory is massive. It's hundreds of stories tall, but with no ceiling. So it's all hollowed out. And all you see around you are hundreds of thousands of windows. And each one of these windows is an opportunity for abundance or wealth or money or romance, whatever you're looking for, the opportunity for that to come to you. So I went, I can muscle test how aligned I am to receiving anything through these windows. So I actually made a pendulum chart, and I muscle tested using a pendulum my availability. How many windows did I have open to receive abundance through? And I got half of one window.
Oh.
Was open to receive money, abundance, wealth. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of a collector of healing modalities. So which healing modality would be most beneficial to clear this? So I started using EFT tapping, and I tapped for about 5 minutes, just repeating the same phrase. And I can't remember, it was a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now that I did this. So I can't remember what the phrase was, and that doesn't really matter. You just pick something like, I'm open to abundance, I'm open to wealth, I'm open to abundance. And you start tapping. I did this for 5 minutes, and it went up from half of one window to 4 windows being open, which isn't going to bring me $100,000 a month right off the bat. But within 5 minutes, it went from half of one to 4. And so immediately I went, there's something here, what more is possible? And from that question of what's more is possible to me, I started getting kind of a download, and I created a book called Kinetic Divination. And the kinetic divination process is what I use to muscle test where that resistance is. And then we go into the healing modalities to shift and neutralize and dissolve any resistance that's in the way.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I want to just reflect back, and I want to check in with the audience again, because I got a couple more comments in here, and I want to invite you all to share this out with your groups. I think we all can use a little more magic of abundance in our lives, and this is like pure magic. So thank you so much for joining us live or watching the replay, and please do share this with your groups, with your fellow journeyers in life, because we all want those windows open. And this is really quite amazing information to me, that you were able to go from half a window to 4 windows. That's like 8 times,
right?
Times what you started with, you came to in 5 minutes. And so that does sound like a massive superpower. And I think one that we all would like to tap into, not to use an unintentional pun here, but yeah. So will you tell our audience a little bit more? You've mentioned muscle testing and pendulums, and I think not everyone is really aware of how muscle testing or pendulums work, and how are they related? Because maybe it doesn't sound like the same thing to some of us.
Yeah, so muscle testing or applied kinesiology was developed by a chiropractor. And if you are physically able, you can test this out with a friend or partner by holding your arm up at shoulder height. And your partner can test your resistance. So you're not arm wrestling, you're just testing resistance. You can also do this by bending your middle finger and placing it on the nail bed of your index finger. And you can just test the strength of your index finger, and it can bounce a little bit, but then you want to say yes and test your strength. And then you want to say, what is no, and test your strength. And your finger will be able to drop down on no way farther than yes, because your body can't lie. So that's what applied kinesiology or muscle testing is all about, is your body can't lie. So we have nerve endings in the fingertips. So I use the nerve endings and I hold, you can try this at home with a strand of your hair or a string and a ring. You don't actually have to have a pendulum, but I would, if you've never had one before, I would pinch it between the fingers and hold it. And then you would say, what is yes? And you can hold it over your palm if you want. You can say, what is yes? And hold your arm straight. And usually yes is a circle, but it could be a line. And what is no? So mine is a circle for yes and a line for no. Now because I do it so often, I wrap it around my finger. So I don't actually have to have it touching the nerve endings at the end of my finger. It just relays through my body, through the energy. You can test your conscious, you can test your body, you can test your subconscious, your feelings, thoughts, and you can test also your energy. So we can do this going back to the womb. We can test imprinted beliefs. We can test past life stuff. So soul contracts and karmic debt that we bring back with us or bring into this life with us. We can test all of those. And we can test where it is sitting in our body.
So just to make sure that it's clear to everyone, when you use these muscle testing or pendulums, what kind of questions do you ask?
Okay, so I create pendulum charts. So I actually have today a giveaway, which is a free JPEG, which is called Dream Income Alignment. So if you guys want to comment dream in the comments, and then I can send you that JPEG or PDF. And on the bottom of the JPEG or PDF will be a pendulum chart like this. So this is a percentage chart. So what I do is I can test myself and I test for my clients as well. And I don't have to, I can test all over the world. So as if I was doing a Reiki.
Oh, we lost Jillian. I'm sure she'll be back momentarily. In the meantime, as Jillian comes back, if you would like your very own copy of this pendulum chart, comment dream in the comments below. I see some of you are already commenting dream. So awesome. Several of you are already lining up to get this chart so that you can do this work for yourself. Yes. Yes, we got lots of people commenting dream below. So Jillian will come back in and reach out to each one of you when we're done with this show. So go ahead, Jillian.
Oh, am I back?
You're back, yeah.
Okay. So tapping in, you can hold the pendulum over the bottom of the chart and you can say, how aligned am I with my dream income? And it'll tell you what your percentage of alignment. So right now I am 85% aligned with my dream income. So notice I actually didn't think of a dream income. I didn't think of anything. But you want to have that in your mind. You want to have a clear sense of what your dream income is that you want to create and then test your percentage of alignment. Anything above 80% is good. You don't have to be 100% aligned.
Yeah, that would be a challenge, right? To be always 100% aligned. It's good aspiration. And yet we have to acknowledge our humanity in these things. Right? So that is amazing. I have never seen a way of using the pendulum like that. For me, it was always the yes or no questions. I've actually been using a pendulum pretty much my entire life. My mother used the pendulum with asking what medicines we needed as a child. And what's interesting, this is just kind of a random side note, but because I've used the pendulum so much, and so with my family, I used to do the same thing. I would test them to see what homeopathics they needed or what medicines they needed and just ask yes or no questions. And myself, my sisters, my mom, my sons, most of the people that I have tested, have the circle is yes and the line is no. And so when I test for someone else, I hold the pendulum over their hand if they're in person. Of course, if they're not in person, like Jillian said, you can still do it over distance. But my kid's dad was the opposite. So I was like, oh, I'm really glad that I asked before I assumed. So you always have to ask with a new person, what is the yes or no for this person, or with the muscle testing too. It's like every time you do it, you want to check that. And
Yes.
this is my experience. And I've had, so there are a lot of different ways to do this. I'm sure that many of you have seen different ways to do this, but this one with the chart and the percentages, wow.
Well, there's another key component too, which we could talk about, is energetic alignment or energetic resonance. So to be able to muscle test yourself, you need to be at an energetic resonance of 200 megahertz or above. This is information from Dr. David Hawkins, who created the map of consciousness in his book, Power versus Force. And he's done so much work over his life where he muscle tested the energetic resonance of different things: paintings, buildings, cities, books. So that is one thing that you can do when you're testing with the partner first, to muscle test and gauge what is yes and what is no. You can then say, I'm at the energetic resonance of 200 or above. So you would test yes, or your arm would drop, you lose strength for no. So you need to be at 200 or above to be able to muscle test yourself accurately.
That is very interesting and valuable information. I definitely did not know that. And so, so if your energetic resonance is not at 200 or above, is there a way to bring it up so that you can effectively do this?
Yeah, different techniques. Meditation is always great. Visualizing, affirming, and working with gratitude. So I would suggest journaling, even if it's 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes at night, and journaling at least 5 things that you love, 5 things that you're grateful for. So I always reflect back to Dr. Joe Vitale. He was homeless at one point, and he didn't have anything, but he found a pen. And he focused all of his gratitude and love on that pen. And focusing gratitude for something, where our thoughts go, that creates more of that in our life. So the feeling of gratitude and the feeling of love expanded and brought him more things to be grateful for. So I suggest that. And I've actually had some clients who they weren't at 200 megahertz. And I said, I just asked them a few questions, like, who do you love most in your life? Or tell me an experience that brought about such joy and gratitude. And just tapping into those feelings, and that those experiences brought on the feeling of gratitude and love, and just shot their energetic resonance up higher than 200.
That is amazing. One of my friends who does not watch my show and had no idea about my show spontaneously told me that my superpower was gratitude. And I thought, so I've been thinking about this a lot and recognizing actually new ways to use it, because I've just, for a long time, for me, it's just been about, okay, look for the opportunity in the challenge. How can I be grateful for this? But when I started thinking of gratitude as a superpower, I thought, oh, well, how can I be grateful for this pain in my arm? And how will that help me shift to finding a new solution that I hadn't thought of? And it really, so it just having that reflection expanded it. And there are really just so many ways that gratitude is a gift that we can give to ourselves. And so this is another one. And I'm really excited to try some of these things that you're sharing with us, because it seems like a really good way to focus. So So I guess my other question is, once we get an idea, okay, so say we get onto your chart and we do a little pendulum reading and we say, you know, how aligned am I to my dream income? And I think you kind of hinted that it's a good idea to have an idea of what your dream income is when you ask the question. And
Yes, you want to be super clear.
right. And so you think, okay, what would be my dream income? And um, I would encourage actually allowing yourself to dream, not just like what's the most that I can imagine myself making where I am right now, but what is your actual dream, right?
And that's what I suggest too, is if we think of a dream, if we think of an income that is comfortable, even right now for everybody that's here, what would be an income that would be good, that would be comfortable, that would cover everything that you would need?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to feel in your body how that feels. Does that feel comfortable? Does it feel realistic? Does it feel safe? Does it feel worthy? Do you feel worthy of being able to bring that into your life? And then I want you to feel into where that feels in your body. If there's any resistance with that in your body, you want to tune into that. You can journal that out, write that down. But then I want you to double that number. And once you have that doubled number, then ask those same questions. Do I feel worthy of this? Do I feel confident? Do I believe that that can come into my life? And feel in your body, where does that feel? Is it safe? Does it feel resistive anywhere? Is there kind of a constriction anywhere in your body that says, oh, that's too much? And then if the doubled number is still okay, then go ahead and double that number and ask those same questions. And feel into your body where that feels and how that feels. And then don't judge, just observe. Don't think, oh, I should be aligned. You know, I've been doing my business for almost 2 years. Why am I not at that income yet? Instead of having the mind go there, just allow space around that and say, huh, it's interesting. Look at it from a playful point of view. And then if there's any resistance in your body, I suggest you expand your energy out. So sometimes because we're humans, we contract our energy and we're trying to shove our energy into this little body, and we are infinite. So we're trying to shove this energy in this little body. So when we're thinking about things that we want to align ourselves with, we want to expand our energy out as far as we can, past the earth, past the universe, touching the universe, beyond the universe. And at that expanded level, then feel into that income goal and know of your worth, know of your infinite being.
Wow, that is a beautiful exercise. So you kind of answered my question. I'm just gonna bring my awareness back into it and see if it was fully answered in that moment. Yeah, you definitely gave us a pretty good piece of, because I was thinking, okay, well, say I get onto this chart, and what if I go onto the chart and like even the income that I say, this will pay all of my bills, am I aligned to make this much that's going to pay my bills and make me be able to not be stressed? And the pendulum says, oh, you're at 20% of this alignment. It sounds like one of the ways is just to tap into that energy body in terms of aligning, like there, because of course we have to have actions. Once we discover where we're at, we have to then be able to move into alignment in order to move forward, right? And so
what I do after that is, yes, you can expand your energy out, but if you test yourself, so some of the questions on this dream income alignment freebie that you guys will get is I'm worthy of receiving money. So that's one of the 5 questions or statements. I'm worthy of receiving money. So if you do test at 20% of that, then yes, you can expand your energy out and then retest and see if you go up. But you can also feel in your body when you say those words, I'm worthy of receiving money. And if there's anywhere in your body that feels constricted, that tightens up, and sometimes we kind of are a little protective of that trauma and of that resistance. So it might not show you right away. And that's okay. Just offer that space and allowing. And then keep at it. Maybe in an hour, come back to it and say, I'm worthy of receiving money. And if there's anywhere in your body that tightens up, that will tell you that there's a shadow aspect in your chakra that's being triggered. So there are different shadow aspects of the chakra that will teach us what's going on and why there's that resistance there.
Wow, I'm feeling like there's just so much more knowledge that Jillian has to share. So I'm going to check in briefly to see if there are any questions here. Shelley is saying it's hard not to judge myself. I am worthy. And I really appreciate this comment came in before what you just shared, Jillian, but I really appreciate that we need more than just an affirmation sometimes. Sometimes we say these affirmations, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy, and we still don't believe it. And so I like this, when you say that, where do you feel a constriction? And then how can you go into that and explore, where did this feeling, one of the ways that I have learned to explore these things is to really tap into that feeling and ask yourself, when did I first feel this feeling? And just see what memory pops into your brain, because sometimes the reason that we're struggling to believe ourselves when we say we're worthy is because we're still carrying a pattern of somebody else telling us we weren't good enough. Or for me, it was kind of about other people saying that they weren't good enough when I could tell they were, made me go back and look at myself like, well, I must not be good enough either. If she thinks she's ugly, then I must be really ugly, kind of thing. And so it's there are these patterns that we are subconsciously carrying around with us in our body. And so I love the way that you're describing going into the body and seeing what it feels like. Let's see what Cindy has to say about this. I am worthy. I think sometimes no matter how confident we appear, that inside an internal unworthiness is our block. And that is very, very often what is going on. Do you have anything more to speak to this?
For sure. I think if you want to tap in with the phrase I am worthy, it depends on what we're talking about. So I often will suggest to my clients to kind of create a ladder on a piece of paper. And at the bottom of the ladder, put something ridiculous like a penny or a dollar. And then go up the ladder in increments and increasing increments of money. So from $1, put 20, then 100, and then 2,000, and then 20,000, and then 100,000, and then 10 million. Something silly like that. So if you look at the bottom rung of $1, how worthy do you feel to receive or manifest or create or actualize $1? I think hopefully most of us can say super worthy. That can come to us at any time, can create it in any way. And then we go up to maybe $10 or $100. How worthy do we feel? And then we keep going up until we feel kind of a restriction of, ooh, I don't really feel worthy of that. And we want to feel into the body where that is resistive. And it's actually usually around the shoulders and around the chest that we will feel a restrictive or constricted energy, because the shadow aspect of the heart is unworthiness. So tapping into that feeling of constriction, we want to offer it space. We want to breathe into that, and we want to just say, okay, I acknowledge you. I thank you for being here. We can use something like Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And focusing on your heart while you're saying that. And oftentimes that'll bring this airy just release around that. And then we can start to work up into the belief of worthiness with those income amounts, or with love, or with deserving the perfect partner or mate, with deserving the perfect business. So working our way up, and that right there with unworthiness or being worthy, I would suggest writing down affirmations that you want to align yourself with, and muscle test your percentage of alignment. And this is because I'm kind of a nerd. I'm kind of geeky with numbers and facts and figures, and I'm super analytical. Unfortunately, it's tough being a spiritual person and analytical at the same time. But I love knowing that I tested at half a window, did a healing modality, and went up to 4 windows. Like that, to me, I geek out on that stuff. So I like seeing at the beginning of a call with a client, they were 10% aligned with something, and at the end of the call, they were 99% aligned with something. That, to me, it's great to feel aligned. It's great to feel lighter, but I want those numbers. I want to know that you are creating that change in your mindset, in your mentality, in your energy. So I would suggest writing down some affirmations like, I am worthy of blank, 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 and muscle testing your percentage of alignment with those affirmations.
Wow. Yeah, I actually want to also acknowledge the gift that your analytical mind is, even though you may sometimes think, oh, because I'm supposed to be able to just release everything to spirit, and my mind just keeps running through these grooves. I just had a conversation with one of my very, very spiritual friends, one of my medical qigong colleagues, and she said to me, we need to get rid of this idea that we're supposed to let go of our ego. Our ego is a valuable thing to be in communication with, because our ego knows things that our higher self doesn't, because our ego is here to operate in this mundane worldly plane. So this is kind of the same thing, that you are blessed to have the analytical mind that works so well in this plane, and then you are able to help people to connect their spiritual journey and the ways that we align energetically with how do we bring that into the physical world. And that is actually one of the biggest challenges for so many of us. We think, like, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I've been doing all the meditations, I've been practicing feeling abundant, but I still haven't gotten any money to come in. And I'm like, okay, so are you, after these beautiful meditations, after you practice this feeling, what inspired actions are you taking? Because it actually means to actually have our dreams, our aspirations, our prayers come true. We have to take action in the physical world in alignment with those prayers. So even this beautiful exercise of finding out how in alignment you are, then you have to say, okay, now if your alignment's really low, then I would say, okay, now how can I bring my alignment up? If my alignment is high and I still haven't seen the money, then okay, what action do I need to take in this alignment in order to actually connect the physical with the energetic? Because there is a disconnect for a lot of people. So I think that is a great gift, and I encourage you to think of it as, fortunately, I have an analytical mind because I can function in this world.
Well, and that's why the book came to me. That's kinetic divination, and this process of muscle testing wouldn't have come about if I didn't have that scientific, analytical, that's how can we figure this out kind of mind. That's why it's so enjoyable for me to work with my clients and to muscle test for them and to see where their alignment is and where their blocks are and all of that. Like I have over 20 pendulum charts that I use at any given time. And I am creating one of the many books that I'm creating right now is a pendulum chart book. So that's super exciting, and oracle cards as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm just going to check in one more time. If you have any questions, now's your chance. Drop the questions. Here's one. Are you a Capricorn, Jillian? Not important, just popped in my head.
No, I'm actually, my sun sign is Cancer, but I have 6 fire signs in my horoscope.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. We are similar in that way. I am also a sun sign Cancer with a lot of fire, Sagittarius moon, Mars in Aries, Leo, Venus, and Jupiter, and lots of yeah. So it's kind of a fun. I sometimes say, oh, I'm water, I'm fire underwater. So that means I create a lot of steam sometimes.
Yes.
Well, I'm not seeing any questions here, but thank you all for joining. And be sure to remember that if you would like to receive Jillian's pendulum chart and questions, drop the word dream in the comments below, and she will be checking in with you to get that to you. Probably later today, I'm guessing, but it will be soon. And yeah, Cindy said it's the analytical thing that made her think of Capricorn. And
yes,
it's funny because I don't know, it can be, and some Capricorns are the most just spiritual, expansive, light beings. My eldest son is a Capricorn. I know we're totally getting off track right now, but he is of, I guess he has that analytical mind, and it's starting to come out more and more as he's really fully stepping into adulthood. He's 25, but he's always been more like, I'm just happy with wherever I am in life. I don't have a need for a lot of material things in my life. Life is about being happy. So it's interesting how we can use these astrology things to look at things, but there's so much more. There's really just so much more.
So interesting.
Oh, and Christy, now we're getting on the Cancer Gemini here. Actually, Christy, this is some of what you and I have in common, because I also have Gemini rising. So I've got that Cancer Gemini thing going on here too, as well as the fiery thing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jillian. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience before we close this out?
I just like to thank you so much for having me on your show, and thank everybody for being here, watching and commenting and engaging with us. And I just like to instill the fact that we are infinite divine beings, and things like this healing modality, kinetic divination, and muscle testing into your alignment is here for you to use. Muscle testing is for you to use. Please use it. Please learn how you can use it in your life to achieve the goals that you have for yourself, because you are worthy of achieving all of your dreams and more.
Yes, thank you so much, Jillian. And I know I got a lot out of this presentation today. I'm definitely going to be trying some of these things. I'll have to unearth my pendulum. My pendulum has this interesting thing that it leaves for a while and then it comes back to me. And I'm never sure where it is when it's not with me, but I was using it for a while and now it's disappeared. And I'm just like, well, it'll come back to me when I need it. And there's always, like you were saying, the using of a pendant.
Yeah, you can use a strand of your hair and a ring, or a string and a ring.
Yeah. Yep. So there are lots of different ways to do this, the muscle testing and the pendulum both. And so I really encourage you all to try it. And then, Jillian, if people want to go deeper and learn more about how to work with you, how shall they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can message me here on Facebook. And also I have a website, jillianschleger.com, or you can email coach@jillianschleger.com.
Okay. I will throw that up on the screen. And then you are also welcome to put it in the comments below.
Great.
Did that work? Yes. All right. So thank you so much. And if you want to get in touch with me and learn more about how to master your energy, to unleash your gifts, how to really connect to your divine nature, your essence of being, or if you are feeling called to help others in this way through the powerful practice of Tree Gong healing, please reach out to me here on Facebook. Check out the Tree Gong healing page where this video is posted. I have lots of fun things happening, and so you are welcome to follow along with that or reach out to me directly to dive deeper. And thank you so much again, Jillian, for being here today. It was such an amazing, informative show. I'm really happy that you were able to be here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you all for watching, whether you watch this live or you're watching the replay. Deep gratitude to each and every one of you. We would not be here without you. So keep on showing up and doing your work, expanding and growing and unlocking those superpowers. So I will see you next week.